Hi, welcome to Sloppy Chops episode 63, where the episodes are definitely not in order, and I take a beat that I made recently and break it down to see, kind of get at the core of what makes it work. Today we're going to be looking at Mood. This little FX box is from ChaseBliss. It's called Mood, and we're also going to break down the beat, which on the channel I called Mood. Before watching this video, I kind of recommend going to watch the original beat so that you'll have context of what I'm talking about. I'm pretty proud of that one. I think it turned out really well, and it was so inspiring, the whole kind of moment there, that I wrote a poem to accompany the poem. So as I often do, my videos are kind of textual, and this one I used the text to write a poem about the idea of mood, kind of the pedal and kind of also the other meaning of the word. Anyhow, the component instruments here are the PO-35 just for the drums, and then I have this Volca FM. The star of the show is the ChaseBliss Mood. There are a bunch of great videos already on YouTube that talk about what this pedal does, so I don't want to jump into like a tutorial or instructional video, but I do want to just talk about how I use this pedal in my jam. Let me just tap out a few. What I've got going on here is the green light on the left side is giving us that delay, and this delay is a multi-tap delay. And what's cool about it is if I turn up the modify, that delay, all those taps kind of smush together and it becomes a nice grainy reverb. You see that? Oh, that's quite good. So in that song, I start around here and I have the time around here the whole time. I don't mess with it a lot. Maybe I'll switch up how grainy or smooth those taps are, but for this part I'm just going to leave it here. It's on the delay mode. In the center I have both of the input coming in, the new audio going through the delay side here, the reverb side, but eventually I'm going to switch it to where it's just the incoming audio coming through, and then the looper side here is going to start off in the delay mix, but also when I switch it over here kind of halfway through that song in that video, it isolates that looper to be just a clean, like a dry signal, no delay. And there's a reason for that, because what the looper does, it's a granular looper, it can get kind of really stuttery, and I wanted to clean up that stutter, not make it so muddy, so I isolate it, make it dry, and it sounds pretty cool. So we're gonna get started, and this is just kind of how it goes. I have just a few chords in F minor set up here in the beginning, and the audio is coming through, and it's getting nice. I want to add those taps in, make sure that they sound good, and then I'll start monitoring audio, pulling it through. You can hear that the sound is lower. That's because of this knob. This knob is in the middle, and so the modify, I guess it's kind of like a time, like how fast that loop is going, spinning through its segment. I can get it to reverse over here. So I'm going to use all of these different tricks and kind of modes to get that texture through here, and it's just replaying the same four kind of like chords in a loose arpeggiation. I can turn down the velocity of the keystrokes so where it's not so aggressive, and what we're hearing mostly is that loop that I recorded originally. The clock in the middle, I usually keep it at 12 o'clock, but every now and then I'll bring it in and move it up to the next interval for a little highlight. So I'm not going to kind of move it up and keep it there. I'm just going to throw it up there for a second, and usually not during the keystrokes. The keystrokes are here. I'm going to do it around the 12th step. Something like that. What else happens? Okay, so when I take when I throw this switch, this delay, see how it's no longer reverby? It sounds more glitchy that way. That's reverse, and then this is forward. But then you can take a nice little clip like that, and then move it, shorten the length of the grain, and it becomes stuttery very fast. That little ramp down creates this nice smear of the loop. Then we can take the pitch down with this modify knob, make that loop sound a little bit slower, a little bit longer, less quality. There's a dynamic going on here with these three knobs here where they're all time-based, kind of, and this is not time-based, but the length of the loop, so how often the loop repeats and how much detail is inside of the loop is a very, very interesting interplay between all of these knobs. And most of the video, I'm just kind of messing around with that interplay. Yeah, so those are the component pieces. Eventually, I kind of throw the FM into randomized arpeggiation mode. And get a lot of taps, or just a pretty washy reverb. And slow that down. And then toward the end, I use this mix to kind of like bring everything into the mood. Because I have all my dip switches all set to off or whatever. So this becomes just a mix knob, not a ramp. So right now, all the audio that you're hearing is just coming from the mood. This thing is not playing, well, you're not receiving any of the audio directly from it. It's just what's processed through the reverb and the loop. And so then I'll start turning down the source and then also turning down the mix to kind of like get a nice fade out of the mess. And then start fading back in that FM, clean signal. Sounds a little bit dreamy, less messy, less chaotic. And then start fading that out. Isn't that cool? Anyway, that's more or less the approach I took in making the other video. Leave a comment if you like this kind of video where I'm describing how I make these things, and you know, if you like them, I will most likely make more of them in the future. It really helps the channel if you share this stuff and you know, like it and all that junk. We want to trick that YouTube algorithm into thinking that I'm making some good music.